Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here and welcome to another review. And now we're taking a look at the Amstrad CPC version of Pac-Mania, a coin-op conversion of the arcade game of the same name. Now, back in June of 2021, I reviewed the Spectrum version and gave it a respectable 7 out of 10. Played really well, but for a game from 1988, it perhaps didn't really offer much to make it really stand out, especially for full price. So, goodness knows what that ticking noise is. But the first thing that I've noticed already is that this is already looking like it's a direct port of that Spectrum version. I mean, look at that Pac-Mania logo in the top right corner. It's even replicated the Spectrum's attribute problems. There's noticeable bleed there, even though the Amstrad CPC doesn't have colour clash issues. Yes. Question is, will the rest of the game be like that? Well, we'll soon find out, won't we? So, Blocktown. Welcome to Pac-Man's world. Let's have fun with Pac-Man. Let's go to Blocktown. Music's good. Let's take turn off. We've got to figure out what the keys are. Oh yeah. ZX OK and space to jump. Can you really not redefine the keys? Nah. And another, oh goodness me. Another thing I've noticed. Not only is it a Spectrum port, it has exactly dead. It has a very noticeable problem of being that's shared with so many other Amstrad CPC games that are also specky ports. A much reduced speed. I'd say this was roughly a third to half the speed of the real Spectrum version, and there's a slight jolt in the scrolling as well. Oh, for goodness sake. And this must be you. I can't remember which mode it is. I think it's the mode called Mode 1, well, I'm not 100% sure, but the mode that seems to typically be used first for specky ports is one which has a similar screen resolution to the Spectrum, but can only handle 4 colours. A wild guess suggests to me that this is the mode that they've used here. Goodness me, it's so slow. I mean, the vertical scrolling seems to be okay. It's just, well, you call it vertical, it's got a slight slant to it because of the angle. But yeah, we'll call it vertical just for the ease of this review. You're always lunging a little bit when you go downwards. And even those ghosts are moving a bit choppily. There are points where they seem to be a bit stop-start. Oh, goodness me. This really needs a speed boost. This is slow. I mean, mean, admittedly, the Spectrum version was slower than the original arcade version, but at least it wasn't as slow as we're seeing here. This does unfortunately impact on its addictiveness. It's a shame, really, because that music's really good. And Pac-Man's every bit as well animated as in the Spectrum version. Well, of course it is, because it's based on the same visuals. Yeah. It's a shame, the audio's really good. I mean, this music is really good. But the speed drop, the slowness of it all, it just makes it so uninteresting compared to what it could have been if it had been reprogrammed from scratch and not just been lazily ported over from the other machine. The thing is, well, with this reduced speed, you're very likely to get bored before you even complete a few maps. This is quite disappointing. And it is such a shame that the Amstrad CPC seems gets lumbered with so many of these Spectrum ports. Oh gosh, I'm going to die there. Oh, I got away with that one that time. Third time lucky, eh? Last couple of times when there was a ghost close behind me, I got killed the moment I turned the corner. Oh god. Oh, got away with that one as well. Fruit target, can't be arsed. That's not fruit, that's a sweet. That is not fruit. Oh dearie me. This really is disappointing. This just isn't particularly exciting. The speed drop really does impact on the enjoyment of the overall experience. I mean, can you imagine if the original Pac-Man had been as slow as this? It would have just been totally robbed of anything even remotely addictive. Another fruit target. And another problem with the Spectrum ports is that often Amstrad CPC games were about £1 or £2 more expensive than the actual Spectrum version. So to get so as ever, for Amstrad CPC users to be numbered with potentially a more expensive game that doesn't run as fast as the real computer upon which its version is based. Bit of a kick in the teeth, really, isn't it? Yeah. Another thing that reduced speed plays havoc with it. Oh, for God's sake. Didn't get away with that one. It's that, particularly with bigger maps, if you've only got a small number of pills left to get, because everything runs so slowly, it can take quite some time, even on just one map, to find those last little ones that are left, which again hampers overall enjoyment of the game. Oh, for goodness sake. See, I've got to try. It's now a case of hunt those last little stragglers in terms of remaining dots, and I can't remember where they were. Oh, maybe this is it. Oh, for goodness sake, get on with it, move it. And of course, another thing about being a Spectrum port is, as ever, the Amstrad CPC has an absolutely beautiful colour palette. You only have to look at videos of that YouTuber Zypho, whose main computer back in the day was an Amstrad CPC, to know just what an incredibly vibrant colour palette the Amstrad CPC has. And when you see something like this, its capabilities graphically are just wasted. Yeah, the trade-off is that the overall graphics can look a bit blocky compared to what we're seeing here, but yeah. I wonder how many people might have bought this version back in the day and went round to their spec-owning friends' house and saw this and felt a bit cheated. See, it's lunging a bit there. Oh, now I'm getting faster. See, although it's notes to be jerkier, this is pretty much how it should be running anyway. The whole game should be running at this speed right from the get-go, not when you... Yes, it's noticeably more jerky as a result, but at least you're not so likely to fall asleep before you know what... Oh god, now it's back to the normal speeds, so it's back to pedestrian pace again. Fruit target. Again, bit of a stretch calling a cup of coffee fruit. Maybe in some alternate universe it counts as fruit, but I don't think it does in this particular one, do you? Oh, for goodness sake. Come on, Pac-Man, hurry your arse up. I'll tell you what, this guy's got no chance of getting indigestion. He eats so slowly, he wouldn't need any kind of antacids. Oh, for God's sake. This is where you get the jumping ghosts. So, this review's been going on for 14 minutes now, and this is only about the fourth map in. That's how long it takes to complete even just... That gives you an idea of how long it takes to complete even just one map when it runs at this pedestrian pace. It plays okay. It plays really well. Hey. Somehow I managed to get that power pill, but yet not the regular pill that was underneath it. At least it's actually fruit this time. Shame. Oh God. Oh, never mind. now you've suddenly got purple on the right hand side there. Okay, never mind. Oh God, why can't I just type these? They probably, I know it's because they have to stay as faithful to the original as possible, and in the original you had to do that because arcade machines don't have keyboards. But it would have been nice if they could have made allowance just for that, because after all, the Amstrad CPC does use a keyboard and therefore doesn't have to have all this fart-arsing around just to key in 3 letters. So that's Pac-Mania for the Amstrad CPC, published by Grandslam in 1988. Yeah, this isn't going to score as high as the 7 that I gave to the Spectrum version. It plays okay. It's just everything runs too slowly for it to be worthy of getting that much of a high score. And the fact that it's a Spectrum port with literally nothing in particular done to it is also going to count against it. Graphics, well, they look clear enough and well animated enough, but they don't make the most use of the Amstrad CPC's capabilities. They've just been directly ported from the Spectrum and using a graphical mode that means it's lost the vibrant colours of the actual Spectrum version. In fact, it's actually got less colour than the Spectrum version, because in the Spectrum version, Pac-Man was actually given a yellow colour regardless of the colour of the rest of the map. Even though that admittedly that caused a bit of bleed, but the colour was very noticeable there. And in this, Pac-Man's the same colour as everything else, not counting the outer display. As I said, that Pac-Mania logo in the top right corner is actually replicated the colour clash from the original Spectrum version, which is a little bit of a shame. Sound. I'm a bit puzzled by the ticking noise on this menu screen. Very little in the way of actual sound effects, just the sound effect when Pac-Man spins in a frenzy when he dies, and the same sort of noise that occurs whenever he eats a ghost or something. Other than that, you get some really funky tunes playing in the background during the actual gameplay. So sound I can't really fault too much. I would have preferred if there could have been something going on this menu screen, but that doesn't really affect the actual game in any way. Gameplay. Well, although it plays well, unfortunately, it loses a lot of its bite due to being about thirds to half the speed of the Spectrum version upon which it is based. And as a result, it's not as exciting to play as it would have been had it been at a faster speed. And the scrolling's a little bit on the jerky side, particularly when scrolling horizontally. And there are even moments I saw during that review where the actual ghosts seemed to be a little bit stop-start in their motion as well, rather than moving smoothly throughout the way you'd expect them to. And that slow speed also means that you can be spending quite a bit of time just trying to find the last few dots that you missed first time round, which again impacts on overall enjoyment. But that, coupled with the fact that Amstrad CPC owners would have effectively been paying potentially £1 or £2 more than the actual Spectrum version, to be given a Spectrum version with fewer colours and about half the speed of the actual Spectrum version, paying a little bit more for the privilege in inverted commas. I think I'm going to give the Amstrad CPC version 5 out of 10. Really could have been done with being done from scratch and not just a specky port. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Catch you on another video soon. Texie88 out.